Yo, Sanjay Uchiha here, people, giving you another Dragon Ball video. This will be, how should I put it? Simply put, this video will contain spoilers for Dragon Ball Super Episode 80, which will be airing on February 26, 2017. I will also go on to discuss a little tidbits regarding Gohan. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you've been warned. So let's get into it. So DBS episode 80. Of course, credit goes to Herms on Twitter. Herms98. If you haven't checked him out, check him out. He does a lot of translations, covers a few animes in terms of all of that jazz and blues. Well, that I think right now he's going over Yu Yu Hakusho based on his feed. So there's that. So if you're interested in that, check him out. So yeah, DBS episode 80. Awaken your dormant fighting spirit. Son Gohan's battle. Gohan, alright, let's go. Gohan is blinded. His battle against the venomous Lavenda begins. Universe 7 is pumped after their victory in the first round. Moving on to the second round, Gohan is up against the Universe 9 warrior Lavenda. Blinded by Lavenda's poison, Gohan cannot read Lavenda's ki and seems to be in for a rough fight. Round 2 of the omnipresent match. Who's the opponent Gohan is challenging? The second oldest brother in the trio, I guess the three dangers, three of the three dangers, I guess. He's also known as the venomous Lavenda. Gohan heads into battle as the contestant for Universe 7. After getting into a tight spot, what is his counterattack? Of course, Goku this week, I guess that week obviously, unperturbed by his son's pinch, Gohan throws himself into battle for the first time in a long while. Goku observes his son's battle. Goku declares Gohan's pinch to instead be an opportunity. Alright, so we have some interesting tidbits here. Of course, I did check out these spoilers earlier in the week when Herms had episodes 79 and 80. Of course, they didn't reveal that much in those earlier translations that Herms did. Really and truly, we didn't even know that Boo was going to win. So, sorry about that. So yeah, so not much info was revealed earlier in the week, as I was mentioning. As I said, we didn't even know who won, really and truly. So with this update now, I guess Boo did beat Basil, so that's interesting. I find it interesting to note that, I mean, Lavenda using poison is cool and all, but Gohan not being able to sense his opponent's ki, that's interesting. Really, is what I really wanted to discuss where Gohan is concerned. Like, I think I mentioned it in my review of episode 78. This exhibition, these series of exhibition matches, this preliminary tournament, I should say, it's just a means for the characters to get motivation to actually train for the main tournament. So even if it's a case that Gohan were to lose here, it's going to be the driving force for him to actually prepare for the tournament. So either win or lose, it doesn't really matter to me where Gohan's concerned. Seeing him actually back on the front lines again is satisfactory by itself. But there's one thing I'm kind of curious about, and it's Toei's. If it's a case where Gohan is just legitimate, like just because he's rusty, he can't really, his ki sense isn't all that. It makes you question all the training he did with Piccolo post Resurrection F, right? And if it's a case where he's still rusty even now, that would mean something just not adding up. And I think I could conclude that it would be Toei. Toei would be the one that's actually taking liberties to actually go ahead and actually put all those, I guess, lines and scenes that Gohan mentioned in training. Because, okay, there are a few things that are constant between the manga and the anime. Even though they differ a lot in a lot of cases, there are some things that have to be constant considering they're being adapted from the same manuscript or outline that Toriyama does. And if any of you have been reading manga, or if not, Gohan has been pretty much been pretty much absent in the manga. No shoutouts where training is concerned. So I think if it's a case in the anime now where Gohan's concerned, if he's still rusty despite the training he should have been doing with Piccolo, then it says to me that those lines, those scenes with Gohan wanting to start training again, they shouldn't have been there in the first place, and it's just Toei at this point. All those points would have been taken, you know, I guess their freedom of speech or freedom of creativity, so to speak, um, just went ahead and put those scenes in really and truly when they're not really there to begin with. Because honestly, if they were supposed to be there, I'm sure Toyotaro would have mentioned them in the Dragon Ball Super manga. If it's even based on how I see Toyotaro write the manga, he would have given at least a hint or a line saying Gohan was training, right? And I mean, I could be wrong. It could be it could be the same in the manga. And when we actually get to the Universe 5 arc in the manga, there's a reference or a flashback back to some sort of training Gohan's been doing over the last few years or months with Piccolo, for example. But as it stands right now, it seems to me that Toei was the one that went ahead and actually, you know, put those Gohan lines slash scenes in. Now, really and truly, Gohan, as I mentioned in my review for episode 78, this will tie in and represent Gohan's character perfectly. So, because as I mentioned in my review, and I keep mentioning, so I'll link it back. Gohan's a character that's always fought, not because he loved it, like Goku and Vegeta, just because he's always been forced into a series of situations, one after the other, that he's just fought to protect the people he loves, really and truly. So now that, you know, he knows the stakes of the tournament, and he wants to protect his family, of course, Videl and Pan, it goes without saying that he's going to step up to the front lines once again. And really and truly, as I mentioned, this preliminary rounds, win or lose, it doesn't matter to me, man. I just want to see Gohan get the motivation and actually go ahead and just represent his character the best he can, really and truly. Will he get a new form? I don't know. Anyway, I think I've chatted on this for long enough. Let me know what you think. What do you think of these spoilers? Are you excited to see Gohan fight? It's interesting to know that Goku thinks his disadvantage could be an opportunity. It's, I don't know, it's not here nor there. Well, this is Anjay Uchiha, people, and I'll see you in the next one.